Morning everyone. Yes, very good morning. Shall we begin the session? Yeah, today's topic is detailed design. We can say the design or study of the designing phase in detail. That means what are the various phases, what are the various outcomes, we can say what are the various the impact that we are going to study on the designing, that is the detailed design. So this chapter contains multiple parts. One is the objectives, then there is the introduction, modularization, then file design, sequential organization, index sequential, index list, direct access, and database design. Then what is the objective of database design? Then logical physical. Yes, all right. With the first one, that is the main objectives of this chapter, that is the detailed design. Objective is the process of the design process or the system design. Then what are the various alternative methods of the file organization, or what are the various methods that is we are using in the file organizations or alternative methods. Then what are the various objectives of database? That means what is the main objective, what is the main criteria for the database. Then types of the data structure, what are the various types that is used with the data structure. Then the difference between the schema and the sub-schema. How to normalize the files, how to normalize the files in the sense, what are the various ways by which we can normalize the files in the database. Now there is the introduction, first one. That introduction says the design translate the system requirement in the ways of operations that is used, and that designing is how to approach compared to the analysis, that is a what is orientation. That means it is going to tell how it is used, not what is going to use or what is going to happen. This is a focus on the detailed implementation of the system recommended in the feasibility study, and this emphasizes or focus on the translating the performance specification into the design specification, whatever the specification that is required into the program oriented or the programmer oriented documents. Then next is modularization. That means dividing the main program into the subsystems, some part that is known as the modules. So using such approach, each application area is treated as if it was totally or it were totally independent, and there's a minimal sharing of the information, that is the minimum sharing of the information and the system processes between the area. For example, if we are saying that there are two major systems that efforts will be taken out simultaneously, one in the order department, another in the accounts department. So there are two departments that is available, one is the order department, one is the account department, and the order affects the amount of the receivables affect the customer credit, validate the order, and the much more. From an application onwards, or from this application point of view, the order processing cost or order processing subsystem should be designed, should be used to demonstrate, or should be used to meet the account receivable function requirement, and the vice versa. However, there should be or there would be no surveys or the no need to review each functional area, application area for common internal processes, and both the systems, whatever the system that we are using that will be performing, that follow some rules, steps that will be used. Yes, that will be used in the system individually or the taken together. And the modular system approach divide each application area into the number of smaller units, that is known as the module. So one is the main program or the main system is divided into the multiple system, multiple area, that is known, or that is also divided into the multiple part, that is known as the modules. These modules may apply to a particular application, or they may be common to two or more application areas. Modules may be used only once, or they may be used several times during the processing of the application. Breaking of a problem into the smaller manageable parts is also certainly beneficial, is also used, or we can say it is also beneficial from the application point of view, from the modular point of view. Now, let's see what are the various advantages of the modularization. First is it can speed up the system. Why? Because when we divide the multiple main program into the multiple part, that becomes speedy. Why? If there is any error in one task, then we can rectify error in that task only. Then next one is it eliminates the unnecessary duplication. If there is a duplication between the if there is a duplication among various processes, then it is very easy to identify the duplicacy. Why? The duplicacy is returned, the duplicacy is verified by we can say concerning various department by various approaches. Like when we say the normalization, we apply the normalization on the various table to eliminate the unnecessary duplications. That also results in higher quality because of the concentrated effort devoted to the development of the common modules, and this also provides better control over the total system project since work can be segmented and assigned in a smaller, more controllable units. And it is also more efficiently maintain the system as a correction at one place to rectify the entire problem. So if there is a change in the one problem, it can also rectify the other problems also. And this or we can say the this we can detail design, it also provides the flexibility as an additional feature that may be added later on, or it can be added in a separate way. And when we say about the smaller part of the program, when we say smaller part of this program that can be tested separately or that can be used in a separate way, how it is used or how it is gathered in the separations. Now there are multiple factors that also have a strong effects in favor of the modularization. Now what are the various limitations that is followed up? One is a numerous unique application requirement that must be incorporated into the multiple module into the common module. Then many system changes for a particular application area. Many times a high rate of the changes that may also rate or also use with a high rate of the potential errors. The next one is a file. One is the data is stored in a file according to the user's requirement. Some records are processed daily while others are updated at a random. It depends on the user requirement whenever it is updated, whenever it is used or it is processed on a regular basis or not. And depending upon the way the data will be used, the file is also organized. The next is basic file related keywords. What are the various file related keywords? One is a byte. It is the smallest addressable unit in the computer. It is a set of the 8 bits or represents a character. So what is a byte? That is a collection of the 8 bits. When we combine 8 bits, that is known as a byte. Then element, it is a combination of one or more byte. It is also refers to as the field. So whenever we combine multiple bytes or whenever we combine one or more byte, that is known as the field, or we can say the column heading, and that is actually a physical storage on a tape or the disk. For example, when you say about the roll number, age, mark, these are the fields and these are also known as the element. Now what is a record? That are the tuples or the rows in a table that is known as the records. The elements related to the combination into the record. Then file, that is a collection of similar records. So when we combine multiple records, similar record, that is known as a file. And it have the same fields but have a different values in each record. Then database, when we collect multiple files, that is known as a database. So one is element, record, file, database. Next is designing a file or the file design. So it is also an organized collection of the interdependent components where the records are processed, available for the processing. And there are 4 files, the 4 method that is used. So first of all, let's see what are the various considerations that we consider for the file design. First consideration is we can say cost of the file media, then inquiry requirements, then file privacy, integrity, security, and the confidentiality. And there are 4 methods of organizing the files. One is a sequential, one is a index sequential, one is an inverted list, and then there is a direct access. So yes, these are the 4 methods that we are using for the organizing the files. One is a sequential access, one is the index sequential, inverted list, and the direct access. In sequential, there is a record that are available in the physical contiguous blocks within the tape or the within a tape or the disk, and these are recorded in a sequence within one block. That is means one after the another. Therefore, sequential record is best suited for the get next activity, that is reading out one record after another without a such delay, without any delay. And in a sequential organization, records can be added only at the end of the file. It is also not possible to insert a record in the middle without rewriting the file. We have to rewrite the file in the media. The next one is index sequential. We are using the index in case of the sequence files also. Like sequential organization, keyed sequential organization also stores the data in a physical contiguous blocks, and the difference in the use of the indexes to records a file or to records or to locate the records. And to understand this, there's a usage that is available. So there's a prime area, overflow area, and the index area that will be used for the databases for the records that are initially stored in the prime area, and the overflow area also contains recorded file that is added to the file that can not be placed in logical sequence in the prime area. Now next is chaining. That is one of the important concept in the file sequential or the index sequential. This requires that relationship will be established among the data items, and it must show how characters forms a fields, field forms a file relate to one another and forms a database. Part number retrieves a record, and the better way to change the records by linking it a pointer to each other, and this pointer gives the address to the next page, the next part of each class. Now next is the invited list organization. This also maintains an index, and it is available at the index level as well as the record level that have a multiple index for a given key, whereas invited list method have a single index for each key type, and it is used in a multiple sessions. It is used in a place in a data storage area, but indexes are also maintained in the record sequence of the record data. Then last one is direct access. We can directly access the area for this one. Now these are the various advantages, disadvantages given for each and every file. Next is database design. How we can design the database. The implementation. So one have a large corporate, one have a large organization that have a corporate with the mainframe computers. They have a mainframe database. Today it is also recognized as a standard of the MIS, and it is available for virtually every size of information, every size of the computer that is used. So it is used with the available data, with the data handling, and before the database concept become operational, user have a program that handle their own independent of data. That means the concept only of the files, not the concept of the database. Now what is the main objective? So main objective of database is to handle the information more accurately, more precisely, we can say, more definitely, that is used with this one. So it is used, or the main objective of the database is that, or the general theme of the database that it is used is to handle the information as an integrated whole, and there is none of the artificiality that is normally embedded in a separate file or the application. And whenever we are saying that database, that is a collection of the files, interrelated data that is stored with the minimum redundancy, minimum duplication, to serve many users quickly and efficiently. And the main objective, or we can say the general objective, is to make information access easy, quick, inexpensive, and flexible for the users. And in the database design, several specific objectives are considered. One is a control redundancy. That means the redundancy, duplication will be removed, or it is controlled. That is the main this one. So when we combine the database, when we merge the database, when we use the database, so redundancy, duplication will be removed or improved or controlled. Then ease of learning and use. So whenever we are using the database, it's a collection of the files, collection of the tables. So it is very to use, very easy to use. It is very easy to learn the database concepts, either in a geometrical format, either in the theoretical format, whatever the data they are using up. Then data independence. Data independence in the sense, whatever the data that is available, so there's a data independence, that is a changing hardware and the software requirement, procedures, or adding the new data without having to rewrite the application programs. And the database should be tunable to improve the performance, whatever the performance that is required, without rewriting the program. So that is the data independence. Now, more information at the low cost. There's a low cost in the database, and the more information is gathered, so there's a more and more information that is gathered out with less cost or the low cost. And using, storing, and modifying the data at a low cost are very important. And although when we say about the hardware prices are falling, software and the programming, whatever the software, whatever the programming cost are also rise. This means that programming and the software enhancement should be kept simple and easy to update. So whatever the procedures, whatever the data that is available, so that is very easy to update, or this is very easy to update or contain the same. Next is accuracy and the integrity. Whatever the accurate data, whatever the, we can say the integrity and the accuracy is maintained when we maintain the database design. So data will be accurate, table will be accurate. So the accuracy of database ensures that the data quality, now we can saying that data quality and the content remain constant. Integrity controls also detect the data inaccuracies where they occur. Then recovery from the failure. So with the multi-user access to a database, so there are multiple users that is accessing the database, the system must recover quickly after it is down with no loss of the transaction. That means if one activity is down, we can easily gather the data from the database. Why? Because everything is available in the centralized location, so there's no loss of the transaction over here. And this objective also helps to maintain the data accuracy and the integrity. Privacy and security is also maintained, that is protected from the various forms of the destructions. Users must be positively identified and their actions are also monitored. Then next is performance. When we use a database, it is much easy to perform, it is much easy to get the output in a better way, we can say the in a secure way. So the main objective emphasizes the response time into the inquiry that is suitable to the use of the database or the data, and the satisfactory results response time is depends on the nature of the user data that is designed. For example, inquiries regarding the airline seat availability that should be handled in a few seconds. For example, if you have to book a ticket for the airline reservation and you see, yes, it is available. It is going down and down within a seconds. This is one of the best example of the database. Why? Everything is in centralized location. Everyone has to use that database only, use that airlines reservation system only. And within a seconds, if one has to book the tickets, then yes, the tickets are going down. That is a, yes, right. So this is one of the best example of the database. Yes, just a moment. One is a DBMS, one is a database, one is a DBMS. It is a software. That is a database management system. It's a software computer-based system, computer-based program that is used or that provides the interface between the data files on a disk and the program that requests the process. And DBMS also stores and maintains the data, and the procedure is as follows. One is user requests a sales report through the application program that is using the DML to tell the DBMS what is required. Then it is using the DDL, that is the data definition language. Now, what is the difference between the DDL and the DML? Yes, DDL works on the structure of the table. So if I want to modify the structure, that means if I want to modify the column name or the field, then we use the DDL commands. And if we want to modify the internal record, for example, I want to change one record. For example, the name is adding up with the last name. For example, I have given the name Akash, that is adding up with Akash Kumar. So that means we are changing the record. That is a concept of the DML. So to summarize, this is given over here. DML manipulates the data. It specified what is required. DDL describes how data are structured. That means how the table structure is different or how table structure are different from each other. Right. Then logical and the physical view, data structures. What are the various data structures? What are the various elements that is available in this? Now there are multiple types of relationship. One is one-to-one relationship, one-to-many relationship, many-to-many, and many-to-one relationship. Types of data structures, that is a hierarchical structuring that specifies any entity that have no more than one owing entity that is established, that is one into one or the one is to many. Then network structuring that have a more entity, more flexibility, for example an auto part that have a dealing with one or more manufacturer, that is a parent. Then relational structuring. Next one is the entities and the attributes. Entity is something of the interest to the user about which is to collect or store the data. It is also known as a data aggregate because it represents a number of data elements. In our sales status system, the sales entity contains data elements such as the sales price, salesperson number, name, date of employment, sales period that is covered by the report. And this item entity has a data element such as item number, item description, and the sales price of each item. The next one is the normalization. Normalization, as we studied earlier also, it is a refinement or a process by which the data duplications is removed, or it is we can say the refined through a process known as the data normalization. They are grouped into the smallest or the simplest way that is possible, so that the little changes or later changes can be made or cannot make the impact on the data structure. Whatever the impact that is available on the data structure, that is used. So this can be it is we can say that one of the simplest way that is possible, so that the later changes can be made with the minimum of the impact on the data structures. And when too many attributes are grouped together, so when multiple attributes are grouped together to form entities, some attributes are grouped together also. So some forms are also grouped together, some activities are grouped together, some we can say some entities are also grouped together to form themselves or to group themselves or to form everything that is available. And further normalization of these entities are also linked by their links, that is known as the data flows or the data links. Then at last there is a summary of this. So this design is a way how to approach, not what is the approach. So not how it is how it is gathered, not what is it is gathered. And it is organized to ensure that records are available for the processing. And sequential organization also simply means storing and sorting in the physical contiguous blocks within the file or the tape or disk according to the key. Then there's the indexed sequential organization that also stores the record sequentially but uses the index to record or locate the record. And it is also a collection of the interrelated data that stores simultaneously with minimum redundancy, that is removing of the redundancy. And the heart of the database is the DBMS, by which we can use the DBMS concepts. The next one is the quality assurance that we are going to cover within the next class, that is the tomorrow class. That is what is the system control and how we can control or how we can assure the quality, that is the quality assurance. Now, till now, any doubts, anyone? Anything that you want to ask about the assignment, about anything? Alright, so tomorrow's topic is the quality assurance, how we can deal with the quality assurance and what are the various impacts that by which we can ensure the quality. Yeah, this chapter includes error avoidance, reliable systems, causes of the error, maintenance of the error. That is one of the part of the we can say the activities in the SDLC also. Maintenance is after the implementation, right? This includes adaptations, updations. Yes, correct. And coupling and cohesion is one of the important concept that is used over here. Coupling means, yes, combination of the various module or the interrelationship among various modules, and the cohesion is interrelationship among the elements of the same module. Okay. All right. So we will meet tomorrow with a new topic, that is the quality assurance. All right. Any doubts, anyone? Yes. One more thing. Yes. One more thing I want to add. Please submit the assignments on that time so that the result will be prepared on that time. The main thing is that if the assignments are not, yes, if the assignments are not coming to me, then how will we judge whether you are correct or not? So this is the main thing. So please submit the assignments on the time. Submit. I'm repeating again and again. Please submit the assignments on the time. Because assignments are the crucial part of this. We can say that is the main part in this. Because unless and until you are unless and until you are not submitting the assignments, how we can judge or how we can give the assignments or the grade to you. So please focus on the assignments. Please provide the assignments, supply the assignments on the time. All right. If there's any query in the assignments, any difficulty, then I'm